One of the quickest ways to take profits in a plumbing home service business is employee theft, and I guarantee you it's much more common than you think. I'm Grant, I'm a licensed plumber and CPA. I own an accounting firm for plumbing home service businesses, and in this video, I'll show you 3 of the most common theft opportunities for employees in plumbing businesses, along with a framework to help you prevent fraud moving forward. All right, employee theft is incredibly common, especially in small businesses. Imagine the amount of work it takes to earn just $20K in profit. If you're running at 20% margins, that's like $100K in revenue. Your office manager who's running payroll decides to inflate their own numbers or their buddy's numbers, and the next thing you know, that $20K in profit is gone. Situations like this happen all the time, unfortunately, and it's super important that you prevent it. All right, 3 ways. Number 1 is tool theft. If you're a plumbing business owner and you know exactly how hard it is to track your tools, the more tools you have, especially in a growing business, the more likely it is that they'll just quietly disappear. What's harder is that some tools may disappear for super legitimate reasons. For example, a broken item that needs to get tossed. Other items, on the other hand, can disappear for concerning reasons. For example, a plumbing tech or your warehouse manager, unfortunately, could be stealing those items from you, taking them home, selling them on the internet, who knows? The good news is there are tool tracking options available online that you can use to give you a lot more peace of mind and hold your team accountable to keeping up with your tools. All right, so number 1 was tool theft. Number 2, this one's a little wild sounding, gas station theft. Stick with me on this one, okay? There are several ways that plumbing techs can steal from your company by abusing gas stations. The first is filling up their personal vehicles on the company dime. If you're not successfully tracking gas spend per tech or per truck or both, it becomes increasingly easy for plumbing techs to fill up their own vehicles using the company card. The second is snacks and ATM. Your techs can literally pull up to a gas station, run in, purchase a bunch of snacks. If they have a debit card, hopefully they don't, but if they have a debit card, they could literally go to an ATM at the gas station and run the charge. These items can show up on the bank statement just like a typical gas station charge. The next thing you know, you're supporting way more of an employee's lifestyle than you bargained for. To recap, number 1 was tool theft, number 2 was gas station theft, and number 3 is payroll theft. And I'm not just talking about your typical John over here inflates his hours or Jake over here goes home early for lunch. I'm talking about genuine payroll theft. This comes down to the payroll approval process. So let me tell you a story. Early on after college, I worked in a small business public accounting firm. So we did bookkeeping and tax for a bunch of small businesses. There was a particular small business that had just a few employees, and the owner trusted one of those employees to process the payroll. What did this employee do? They stole directly from the company by increasing their own personal pay. Of course, this person was fired, but not before they had embezzled funds from the company. So if you have one person in the business entering payroll, approving payroll, and then processing the payroll, you're setting yourself up for pain. And the unfortunate thing is, very often, this is the person you trust most. This is your right-hand man that you think is looking out for you, but they very well may not be. The truth is, as a business owner, you have to trust, but verify. Don't just blindly trust anyone to handle your money correctly. All right, now I want to share with you a simple framework that will help you prevent fraud moving forward. All right, this is called the fraud triangle. The premise of the fraud triangle is that you should always separate the duties of 3 different positions. A is authority, R is record keeping, and C is custody or control of the funds. So when it comes to payroll processing, for example, the authority, whoever gets to call the shots on how much payroll is paid, that's authority. That sits with one person. Record keeping, the person who records how much payroll is paid, that sits with one person. Custody, the person who actually has access to the bank funds to pay the payroll, that sits with one person. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Grant, I don't have 3 people in my plumbing business that I can separate these duties among. That's okay. What I would advise is use this framework to help identify areas of potential fraud in your business, and then you keep a little bit more oversight on those areas. In this situation, if you have one person who's handling the majority of these, You take control of authorization and check and make sure everything checks out. All right, thanks for watching. If you run a plumbing home service business and you need professional accounting help, my website's linked below. Go ahead and click that link, head to the website, book 30 minutes with me, or you can even just send a question my way. I would love to see how we can help you out. If you found this video helpful, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.